All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of BlackBoxBeat. I'm Hells.
I'm Maria.
And I'm Bender.
All right. Before we get going, Maria, you have some Micron news for us. Tell us about the
I
Micron.
do. So Micron MU reports Q4 EPS minus $1.07, consensus minus $1.11. Revenue 4.01 billion, consensus 3.69 billion. That is a beat for the reporting quarter. They see Q1 EPS minus $1.07 plus or minus 7 cents. Consensus minus 90 cents. They see Q1 revenue 4.4 billion plus or minus 200 million. Consensus 3.97. So that is a guide up as well. So they are, at least for the reporting quarter and the next quarter, that's a beat in a raise, and they're slightly down after hours. So we'll wait for the conference call on that one, and that's all we have for
Interesting.
earnings.
Yeah, that's not bad considering that's kind of a sector over there that everybody wants to put a knife up against his throat. Those are not bad numbers
Right.
by any means. So rock and roll. All right, guys. So let's get into some of this chat room chatter. It's very chatty out there. Everybody wants to tell us that we're going to die and it's not okay. We have Moody's warning us, and a government shutdown is not going to be good. I'm glad that they are captains of the obvious. Another captain of the obvious, Jamie Dimon, is saying that the world is not ready for 7%. I think interest rates, not necessarily inflation. And consumers don't have any money. Guys, what do we think about this?
I think we've
Were
known.
we?
I don't think that's new.
Bender?
Yeah. Were we ready for 6% inflation? And did they
No.
wait when we said no? We're not ready. So I don't know how much it matters, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah, no. It's like
Consumers
it's
don't have as
always
much money. We
amazing.
know that.
It's always amazing how captains of the obvious want to step out and be like, it's like, hey, it's not good if more bad things happen. It's like, well, thank you very much. This really gives us a great roadmap to go on. It's kind of like, what was the Fed speaker the other day saying that rent inflation is not good for the consumer while they're jacking rates up, basically driving rents higher. It's like, okay, it's like, way to go, buddy. You're really killing
Way
it
to go.
over there, Fed
Thanks.
card.
No.
Fairly unbelievable how we continue to get these headlines. And look, yeah, we all sit here and saw the price action today and over the last couple of days. Maria, you have any thoughts on that?
Not really. I was out well, it's my first day back from vacation, but obviously I've been checking in here and there, so I know what's going on. Um, at this point, it's I'm basically just reactionary to the market, right? I can only do what the market gives me. I can't try to predict it, and I won't try to predict it. If we want to go down, I'm prepared to go down. If we want to go up, I'm prepared to go up. Obviously, I continue to look for flow to give us any kind of indication, up or downside, and that's the course, and we just have to stay that course.
Certainly agree. Bender, what you got on that?
Yeah, I think you can't anticipate the bottom or the reversal. We talk about that all the time. Why am I half on the screen? There we go. Can't anticipate necessarily the bottom or exactly where we're going to reverse and win, but there's some things that we can look for. And, to echo Maria, not going to try to stand in front of the bus over and over again. Just be patient. Be patient. It'll show itself when they show their hand. We talked about the fact that, as we're going down, when flow is overly bearish and we approach those key levels and we get a chance, like, okay, this is a level I might be interested in. Let me see what happens here. The flow should confirm that for us. And
Yeah.
I think you said you didn't really see that this afternoon quite yet. So maybe, we're going to look at some charts, but no, let's see.
Yeah, I think that that's the biggest thing. We haven't, the price action has been extraordinarily risk off. I think you can pick a chart and look like it's like, yeah, no, there's definitely more selling than buying going on over there. And the flow has kind of echoed that in a lot of ways. Even when we get into areas of chop, we still consistently get the same type of, back and forth type flow. Flow has been really, really great in kind of speaking to some of this price action that we've gotten, but we've risked off pretty severely in through here. And with that data point coming out on Friday, I think that we're at a point to where you have to start asking the question, the ultimate question, what is and is not priced in. After a massive risk off like this, and the messaging really not changing, the threat of an additional rate hike has been on the table for several months now, and so now here we are, coming into yet another data point with a pretty substantial risk off going into it. Look, it's a very curious time. I know Flo has been absolutely outstanding and kind of leading the way. I'm really happy to have you back in the game over there, Maria. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else on this? Anything else you heard or you want to chat through a bit?
No?
I mean, I don't think so. Those aren't my dogs, by the way. They're not my dogs.
I'm so sorry. I tried to mute my.
Oh, I
must
figured it
have
was
gotten
Hell's, so I
blocked
was
or
going to give them a hard
something.
time.
It is not Hell's. My dogs are behaved, except for when they run into the forest and chase bears. Otherwise, they're very, very behaved, except for those rare instances.
But we've gotten through a lot of shows without this happening, thankfully.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, guys, let's move right. Well, we have another headline. Oh, yes. No, we need to talk about the fact that, people that are a little bit heavier are able to get drugs to help them with their heavierness, which I think is probably pretty good. I feel a little bit blessed that I have a very strict diet of nicotine and caffeine that keeps this the way that it is, which I'm happy about that. So I don't need that, but good for them. If it helps them live a better life and feel better and more confident, fantastic.
I think it's amazing that's a 300% surge in under 3 years. I've got some friends. I've got a couple of girls that go to the gym with me that are on some of these medications, and they were talking that there is a nationwide shortage. Like there are no pharmacies in our area, any pharmacies that have any of it. So I just think it's amazing that it's gone from, not really a lot of people had access to it or knew about it, and now we've got 9 million prescriptions, 300% surge in under 3 years. That's a big number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not real familiar with the side effects that there are any, but I'm very hopeful that this is actually a good, clean drug for people, and I hope it works out for them.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add on that because I don't really know what it is, and if it works, great, cool. I don't know.
All right. Here's the last one that we have. Does Apple's iPhone 15 series have an overheating problem?
Probably. Who knows? I don't know.
It's like some of these headlines. It's just like I don't even know what to think. Does it? I don't know. Does anybody have an Apple i15, or is that the new one or the
Mine
old one?
No, that's the new one. Mine doesn't get here until October 20th.
Right. So I don't even know that they have a problem. How do you know you have a problem unless somebody has one or two?
I don't know. My dad's getting his on the 29th.
Well, that's very exciting times for your family over there, Maria. We're all just so enthused.
We all got new phones, all 4 of us.
Is there any data because I would love for that to be true.
Yeah, we know your love for the Apple.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into Shag, Marry, Kill. This will be a quick one for me. I closed out that pain in the butt short on Home Depot that finally played out in a very nice fashion. The narrative held true as far as the consumers having issues. We had a couple of ERs basically speaking to it. And then with this risk off environment, I got a very nice move down. So you can see what we talked about. What I was looking to is to cover in this range down at this dark pool, this 126 million dark pool down and through here. I closed out in advance of it. Contracts went from 815 to 1125. I am completely out of the Home Depot short. If we get another move back up near 310 and there's more weakness in the market coming on the side of it, I'll look to short it again. I just really, really think that in this environment, it's going to be difficult for the consumer to have any type of discretionary spending. And that really goes back to not buying fertilizer, really goes back to bigger ticket items. And if you walk through those aisles, there's a lot of things on sale right now. So Home Depot, it ended up being a really, really nice trade. Very happy with the results. Hope to have another one for you next week.
Nice. I like it.
All right.
We'll see what the update is.
Yeah.
So we don't have to comment on it because you're done. Sweet.
No, I'm done. The trade is closed. 815 to 1125.
Right.
Very happy with the result.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah, nice work. Nice work.
That's a
Very
gorgeous
nice.
trade.
Yeah, it was very I'll be honest, when it made that move back to 330, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And none of it really made sense, but things don't have to make sense. All's well that ends well. I am excited about the next person, though. Bender, you want to walk us through some of this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to talk about Apple for a minute. We know how much I love Apple. I say that obviously tongue in cheek. It doesn't look like you can see my chart up there, but that's okay. Apple, there we go. Apple's in an interesting spot for me coming into that. You can see kind of coming just below the 50% level of that move up. If you look at the bigger picture move up, you know, kind of the lows that you see on the chart to the highs there, that dotted white line going across the middle of the screen is the 50% of that move. And it's coming into this gap. So it's at a place where I might start to play with it a little bit, start to shag it a little bit as we get into kind of bigger picture market. Like you've said, we can't, it's hard for us to go up without Apple going up, right? So if we're somewhere near there, don't know that we are, again, Flo will confirm, but if we're somewhere near that there, I may not love Apple devices, but I know it's a massive component of the market, and coming down to fill in this gap makes it very interesting to me. So I don't have a play on it yet. I'll be shagging it. I'm not marrying anything right now, but I'll shag some stuff. I'll shag everything. Just kidding. Until we get there, until we start getting that push and that confirmation, then we can start to take some longer term.
Apple is definitely an interesting chart, and you know, obviously that's a pretty big drawdown. I think it's ultimately a question of when is enough, right? It's like we've spoken many times that they're not going to start bleeding us off until we dip under 170. We got that move under 170 today. 167.50, I think, would be the next level that I would kind of look to see if we can get a bounce if we lose this level in through here. But it's lost a lot of support and a lot of moving averages along the way on this sell. I like the idea. It's vulnerable to both bull and bear right now in this zone. So great idea.
I'm with you. I like it. It looks, I like that. So I'm going to shag with you.
Very nice.
Right on.
Right. Maria, tell us about Palo Alto. It seems like you've played this game before with PAMW.
I have. So I opened a new position today. They bought, what did they buy? They bought the November 230 calls. And if you look at that daily, they picked those up right off the 89 EMA. That is that yellow line on my chart. I like that they're picking it up right off the bounce of there. And then you'll also see today's volume in OI on that next screen. And I'll definitely want to take a look at that tomorrow to see exactly what happens. But so far, so good. I really just like the spot they picked that up in. And PAMW is one that typically works. So it is a shag for me.
Very nice. Very nice. Great catch. It's like I heard you pick that up, and I was like, do I want to do this? And I was like, I don't want to do this.
You should have.
I should have. No, it had a nice bounce and did really, really well. So hopefully that continues for you. All right. So what do we have next? We have a viewer question, I believe. Yes. Do we have questions from the viewer?
I don't get to add anything. Like we didn't have to say anything about PAMW. No. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. All right. All right. Next. So be it. Fine. Let's go.
All right. Viewer question is, are you ready for this, guys? Because I think this could be one of those good viewer questions that we're all going to think about. Is it too early to look for a potential end of the year run?
Who's first?
Bender?
All right. Well, yeah, let's take a look at this chart. If we can get that up. We'll see if that works out. That's the cue. Throw it up, maybe. All right. Well, here we go. Maybe. We're going to get the chart. All right. Well, I sent a chart in. There it is. I don't know if you can even see it because I didn't realize how small it was going to show up on this screen. But essentially, I was looking for the indices to come in and take out some of those previous lows, get everybody stopped out from earlier in the year, June, July, that time frame. And NQ got it. NQ traded down into that daily candle, that, that big up candle. The Dow has traded down into it as well, and even a little further down past that 1414 extension. And if you look at the top left, ES came down and broke just under that trend line. There was a fib extension there that we were watching. Not to say it can't come a little bit lower. At the bottom right, you've got a chart of the dollar, and I think that's going to be really important to see, that previous high, that 107.17 area. See if maybe it pokes its head above that and then pulls back if it wants a little bit more. Short story is this: we're close. I think we're close. When you look at that chart on the ES, we're just below the 200 day moving average. Crossed just below that trend line, and you saw how they picked it back up. Again, doesn't mean that we're done, and I'm waiting for flow to confirm, and I think it's something that we can be patient on, because it's going to give plenty of range. But I would say that, in my opinion, I think we're probably pretty close.
Maria, what do you say?
What do you think?
So I agree. I don't think it's too early to look for a potential end of year run. I think it's a great time to start looking for rotation into sectors that you like. I think it's a great time to start reviewing charts and finding those tickers that you really want to pick up for end of year into January, for January effects. So I don't think it's necessarily too early, but I think it's, I don't know if I would necessarily buy anything just yet, but I would be preparing. So I'd be making my lists. I'd be keeping an eye out for flow to confirm, just like Bender said. And, if flow starts to come in sooner rather than later, I wouldn't be opposed to picking up, a starter position or starting, a couple of contracts just to start a position and then add going into the next several weeks or so. But I don't think it's too early. No, I don't.
Yeah. Maria, I agree with both of you in a lot of ways. I think that what you're talking about, as far as if you see, individual tickers that are approaching support with a decent narrative behind them, and you're buying enough time, it's okay to nibble, right? It's okay to maybe kind of size in slowly. I think there's something to that. That's ultimately how you generate wealth, right? Because you're not going to be able to peg the bottom, you're not going to be able to call the top. But ultimately, what you can do is kind of put yourself in a position to be able to succeed. So I like the ideas there. Bender, thank you very much for the visuals. The one thing that I want to leave you guys with on this is the fact that the market has the ability to disconnect from the overall economy. So as we're hearing doom and gloom and getting thrown FUD headlines left, right, and sideways, the market can still rally. We've seen it many, many times through the years. Right now, that the only thing that I believe that the market is waiting for is for the Fed to take the boot off the neck. The only way that happens, ultimately, for them to take the boot off the neck, is for data to soften. That means the economy is softening, right? So it's like we have to be aware of why we are where we are and what we need to look for. The one thing that I know for sure, BBS Flow is going to lead the way and show us exactly what we need to see and how we need to see it. Was really hopeful today was going to be the day. For me, it was not. Hey, maybe tomorrow's the day. You guys have anything else you want to add?
Maybe tomorrow.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Maria, amazing as always. Bender, thank you, buddy, for coming.
Thanks for having me
today. All right,
thank you.
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
See ya.